Hey, Kelsey. Hey, Alexis. Hey, Kelsey. Hey, Alexis. My bad. Hey, Juby. I hope I said that right. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Michael. Hey, crazy homebody girl. I like that name. Hey, Kayla. Hey, Fedora. I don't know why you always catch me when you have a paper to write. Make sure you write that paper. Don't let me be the reason, because you can catch the replay. Hey, Tara. Hey, Brandy. Hey, Torrance. Oh, I did. Okay, good. Hey, love for my 4C. Hey, Monique. So I would have been on here earlier, y'all, but my internet was acting up. Like, I don't know what's going on with it. Hopefully it's on track now. But yes, we are here. While y'all are coming in, I'm gonna get their pictures together because I totally forgot to do that. Hold on. Let me get their pictures so we can see who we talking about here. So what did y'all think about Decision Day? Y'all tell me what y'all. Let me hear your thoughts about Decision Day, because child, I just don't know what I was expecting, but I should have knew better. This season was just a disappointment, honestly. Like I said on my review, I'm almost ashamed to say I even watched the show. This is gonna be one of those shows like, you watch that show? That's what you watch? I used to be able to defend this show, but now it's like y'all are starting to be like all the other reality shows. Hold on, y'all. 1 second. Let me get all of this together. It was boring and full of lies. Decision Day was bogus. A bunch of clownery. Paige should have been matched with Eric. Clara should have been matched with Chris. Brianna should have been matched with Jacob. Haley should have been matched with Ryan. I would have to sit there and think about that. This season was a terrible season. I don't like any of the couples together. Me either. Hey, Maisha. I wish all would have said no. Me too. Yeah, Chris and Eric have the same. No, Paige and Eric have the same goals. The only thing is, does Eric want to be with a black woman? Will his family be okay with that? Like, y'all got to think about stuff like that, because I mean, that's real. We are living in America. These people should have never been on the show. I expected all the decisions, but I don't think any of them should have said yes. I agree. I started watching Married at First Sight Denmark, and it's a breath of fresh air. They even have an anthropologist. What? To look at lifestyle as well. I'm jumping ship. Plus, seasons are only 7 episodes long. Really? That's interesting. They seem like they actually take the time to match these people correctly. I found Brianna's IG and she went to Ole Miss. We have a lot of mutual friends. Small world. That's cool. You know what? It's crazy. You're the second person to have a connection with her that I know. Charity said she went to high school with her in Memphis. I don't know if Charity's in here, but she definitely told me that, I think. Vodka seems like she dissociated from her body. Yeah, she just wasn't there for me. Like, he low-key forced her to say yes by proposing. It was very manipulative. We'll get to it, y'all. Y'all finna make me jump in it already. The way they did promo for Houston is very similar to this past season. Y'all, I don't even know if I'm gonna review Houston. I don't know, because this season really, really did turn me off. Like, I'm really, really turned off to Married at First Sight as a whole. So I don't even know if I'm gonna be in a mood to review it. We'll see. I might do it for a check. I don't know. but if y'all see me reviewing next season, I'm most likely just doing it for the money. Sad to say. I used to actually enjoy the show. I was thinking Paige and Jacob. I could see Jacob being actually. I could see him being with a black woman. So possibly. The only thing is Paige has revealed that she is severely has low self-esteem. I think she needs to work on that before she gets with anyone else. For her to put up with any of those antics that Chris had, she don't need to be with nobody right now. I don't know if I'm gonna watch Married at First Sight in July. I mean, it's so soon. Like, it's so soon. They did this. They did this with this season. It was so soon. Like, they came back to back. It's like, did y'all actually take the time to make sure these people were a good match? Like, I feel like Married at First Sight should be so much better at matching people at this point. We're on the 12th season. Y'all have had so much time to really perfect your system, and it's not. It's like this season was the worst to date, and then y'all chose somebody like Chris. How did Chris even make it to the final round? Like, how did y'all not weed Chris out unless y'all wanted exactly what y'all got? And I'm still leaning towards y'all chose him on purpose. That's what I'm leaning towards. I can't say for sure, it's alleged, but I'm sorry, Chris doesn't strike me as the type to be able to fake, as you know, to be able to present himself as anybody but himself. I feel like his real personality will always shine through because he's so narcissistic. Also, it's corny for them to be having horses and country thing from they really have a horses and country thing. I can't even get it out. A horses and country thing for Houston. When Houston, child. Now, if they did it for Mississippi or Alabama, okay. Even though, I'm from Mississippi, and I've never been on a horse. Maybe when I was little. My uncle did have horses, but everybody here doesn't ride horses, and it's not all like a dirt road. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think it is. But for them to choose a horse and country theme for Houston, Chris is a con artist and very shallow. I believe we would have seen the side that the experts saw had he been attracted to her. Okay, possibly, but I just think they should have. I feel like a part of the process should be talking to past relationships, talking to family members, talking to ex-friends, not just friends, but y'all need to really be invested. Y'all should do your investigative detective work on these people. Y'all are getting people married. Like, this is not nothing to, like, I understand this is a reality show, but y'all should put in a little bit more effort into choosing these people. I would think y'all should do that. It be Mississippi be so bare. Mississippi is bare. It is bare. I will say that. But it's not all dirt roads. They've been in the TV industry for too long to have not clocked Chris's bad acting. Right. Yes, the producers are doing the worst job. and should be liable for a lawsuit. I'm sure there's somewhere in their contract that keeps them from being liable for a lawsuit. I mean, in their contract, they're allowed to portray them the way they want to. So they can portray anybody as the villain. That's literally in their contract. That's what they're signing up for. So, I'm sure there's a part in there that says, oh, you can't sue us. But let's go ahead and get started. Let me pull the picture up. What do y'all think about these two? They're still together. I went to their Instagram. They're still together. Hopefully by now they've consummated their marriage. Hopefully, Clara has fulfilled that part. I don't know how I feel about their relationship in the long run. For some reason, I feel like I feel like she's gonna resent him in the long run because she's changing so much of herself. Clara was successfully programmed. What is it the opposite of being in the sunken place? Well, I guess it wouldn't be the opposite because Ryan isn't exactly the most. That's Ryla and Klein. What? I have a feeling they've at least done the deed. I'm sure. I hope so. Ryan is running from something. Running from what? I don't even want to see him again until he changes his hair. It's personally offensive to me. Like I said in my review, if you're going to perm this, you need to perm this. Because I figured it out. For me, it's the two different textures. We can't have 4C here and have type 2 up here. Okay? So let your curls flourish. Let the kinky curls flourish, or perm this, or brush it, get some beard oil on it. Make it a little smoother because the textures. It's the cut. He should just go bald. He should. I feel like he would look good bald. Pinky, that close up with Ryan picture was so funny. A lot of y'all thought that was funny. He's clearly only into white girls. Clearly, he asked for a Zooey Deschanel type, and Zooey Deschanel is very much white. Not sure if any of these couples will last. If they get by a year, I will be surprised, except Vincent and Brianna. I agree. I don't even have much faith for Vincent and Brianna unless both of them get some counseling individually and together. Just go bald. He had the same haircut as a child. Well, maybe that's his natural hair. Maybe that's his natural hair color, y'all. That could be it. Ryan is disappointed. He asks questions that make you believe he wants mental stimulation, yet he's still with Clara. I think that Ryan is going to mold her into what he wants. And so he's going to get her to start reading books and try to make her deep. Because, you know what I'm saying? They both got what they want. So I think they're going to try to make it work simply because they both got what they wanted. He wanted a white woman and she wanted someone racially ambiguous. Who asked for that? Even as a black person, who asked for someone racially ambiguous? I would even question a black person that said that. I would question anybody, any race of person that says, "Oh, I want somebody racially ambiguous." I would question that because it automatically comes off as you fetishize that. And maybe you want a mixed child. That's what it sounds like. Now I have to be honest. Like anybody that would say that, I'm gonna automatically question you. Making a pond out of a kiddie pool. A woman who wants to go black but not too black. Those kids aren't going to be racially ambiguous. They're going to be white. They're going to be white. They might not be. They might pull from Ryan's roots. You never know. Yes, just say it with your chest that you want a black man and call it a day. But she don't. I feel like she wanted a black man, but she didn't want a dark-skinned man. I mean, let's just be real. That's what racially ambiguous means. She wanted a curly-haired, light-skinned, racially ambiguous man. So it is what it is. That's kind of trash when I think about it. So if you want to be in this trash relationship, if you want to be with Ryan and have him control your life simply because you want a racially ambiguous person, have at it. I'm not finna sit up here and fight for you and you don't want better for yourself, okay? Shalise, racially ambiguous doesn't have to mean black, but we know she meant that. It was implied. They didn't choose Ryan for no reason. They didn't choose him for no reason, okay? We still don't know anything about Ryan. Exactly. We know what he wants in life as far as in a woman, and that's what he's molding Clara to be. But we really don't know much about Ryan. And we didn't even get to. I'm still kind of like upset that they didn't show him with his family, like show her meeting up with his family. That was weird to me. Ryan needs to tell the girls how to work out their glute. Now that's something I do want to hear, because Ryan's butt, like his booty, I ain't never seen nothing like that before. Not naturally. Because I've seen women have, I've seen curve, like a nice size butt and a cup up under, but his butt is something I ain't never. It is like a perfect C. I've never seen that. So he must have already had a nice size butt, but then when he does all these squats, and all these workouts, it must have made it even more defined. Like, it's not attractive though. It's so feminine. Hey, some women like that. But it just reminds me of Girlfriends when Marcus with the hips. He don't got no hips though. He just got a big butt. It's not the hips for him. He don't have hips. It's just the butt. Okay, let me get off of it. He got that way. He got a wagon he dragging. And Cliff, don't act like men don't do this all day and night. Don't make me put no bass in my voice. Because men do this all day and night. Okay? That's the main thing y'all focus on, is the booty. If I want to talk about Ryan's butt, I'm not being, I'm not trying to objectify him. I'm just pointing out that he has a nice butt. Woo! He puts a wallet in his pocket. Okay, let's move on. Boy, am I glad that they're done. Oh my goodness. Stop pretending. Stop trying to act like you're trying. Jacob, stop trying to make fetch happen, even though he really did quit at the end. Like, he really didn't try it all at the end. Because what was the point? The thing I appreciate about Jacob, he was 100% honest. And I feel like you have to be on a show like this and to be in a process like this. He was 100% honest. He was vulnerable. He put his feelings out there. He didn't hold back. Ryan was not a victim. Okay. He made his grievances known. And I really appreciate that because there's some, usually it's women in Jacob's position on this show where they're being treated badly by a man and they'll just sit there and take it. I'm thinking about Mindy and Zach. I'm thinking about Kate and Luke. They'll just sit there and take it. But I love it when people come in this show like Jacob, like Mika, who come in and speak their mind and they don't, you know what? We can learn something from men sometimes. Men be knowing their worth. Sometimes they don't even deserve more than they're getting, but they'll demand it. Okay, Jacob was not finna settle for less, and I respect that. Okay, I love petty Jacob. Jacob said he did not learn nothing. And if Haley were to be honest, she didn't learn nothing either. You did not try, girl. You know you didn't. Stop saying that. That's a lie. You did not try. I agree Jacob needs to talk to Paige about self-worth. Please, he's a great person to talk to. Let me tell you. Because Jacob was not finna settle. Look, I'm not finna sit up here and we up in this house. Look, do you find me attractive? What's wrong with asking that? He said he only asked it once and she tried to make it seem like he asked that all the time. What's wrong with asking that? You acting like you're not attracted. I might as well ask the question. Haley knows nothing about communication. Right. All they did was fight. So what could you have learned? Exactly. And Haley didn't actually put anything into the relationship for them to be able to learn anything. He didn't really get to know Haley. You know, surface level things, but he didn't really get to know her. I saw on the preview for the reunion, Jacob is going to give it to Haley. I cannot wait. Me either. Haley felt the same way about Jacob as Chris felt about Paige. She wanted to hide it, but she couldn't yet. I would have rather her just been completely honest. Like, girl, if you don't want to do this, don't do it. Like, I would have been just fine with only having 3 couples to watch this season because honestly, that's the way the show started off. The show started off with only 3 couples. So it would have been just fine if they would have quit. I would have been A-okay with that. He ain't learned nothing from this because he spent the last 10 years learning to love himself. You know what? That could be it. He was perfectly fine with being single. He knows all about Jacob and what Jacob wants out of life and what Jacob wants out of a relationship. So he ain't putting up with nothing less. And I have to give him his props on that. Haley was not fully committed to the process. No. I just hope after the show we don't find out that Jacob is crazy like David from season 4. Child, we're going to talk about Ready to Love. We're going to talk about Ready to Love after this live. I'm going to go live again and we're going to talk about Ready to Love. If Haley would have said yes first, I think Jacob would not have said yes. He was so ready to get away from her. He was so ready to get away from her. No, I doubt he would have said yes. They asked him. They even asked him. They said, "What if Haley wanted to, try?" He said no. I mean, that was basically he gave his answer. I heard Jacob say Haley didn't stay at the apartment when the camera was off. I wouldn't be surprised. She acted like she didn't live there. She acted like she didn't live there. Oh, David from Meredith for. Okay, let me see. I don't remember. See, I forgot about these people. If it wasn't season 1, season I kind of forgot about those earlier seasons. They don't really stick out to me. Pastor Cal asked that. I was annoyed at that. Jacob's DMs are off the hook at the moment. Now, you know them white women are sliding up in his DMs as we speak. The same way they were sliding up in Miles' DMs, and Karen had to slide up in there real quick. Nope. She snatched Miles up so quick. She snatched him up so quick after she found out all these women wanted Miles. Like, never mind. Let me snatch him up real quick. Haley, just like Chris, would have been different if she liked him. They both should have walked away because trying to force themselves to stay to save face just made them look even worse. I agree. And honestly, they should not have signed up for something like this in the first place. If you're going to be that shallow, if you're going to be so shallow that looks are going to turn you off to the point where you're not even going to try, don't sign up for this. Don't sign up for this. If when people try to match you with somebody, you always think they're ugly, don't sign up for this. Don't sign up for this. Because there's some people, they'll give them a chance regardless of how they look. If you're not that type of person, don't sign up for this. Some black women too. I believe it. I mean, look, when Jacob put on that beard, I was looking at Jacob. I ain't gonna lie. And I'm not even, I'm not really that much into white men that much. But when he put on that beard, I was just like, Jacob isn't horribly unattractive. He just needs a little makeover. He has a nice body. Exactly. Let me tell you something. Jacob, out of everybody on this cast, Jacob is the one I would be looking at because he has a house. Okay, a full house with a pool. I mean, he's willing to make alterations to the house. I could have my own beauty room. Okay. Jacob works out, has a nice body. Okay, we get that hair right. I don't like the hair. We would have to do something about the hair, but we can fix the hair, get the beard in. Okay, we can work on the style. He's willing to change his style. Like, we can work on that. Jacob has money. Okay, he's not stingy with it. He bought a $800 bracelet for somebody he didn't even know. I could work with that. Very compromising. He's not a bad catch. Exactly. Jacob is way too antisocial and weird to be on this show. No, like, we've seen Jacob interact with the rest of the couples. Like, I don't know why people keep saying that. Like, I think if Haley would have been more willing to be social with him, she's the one acting stuck up and to herself and acting awkward, like she didn't want to be around him. When he was around other people that were willing to socialize with him, he was telling jokes and everything. He was telling jokes. People was laughing with Jacob. What are y'all talking about? How can you be social? How can you be social with someone who doesn't want to be social with you? I'm not finna sit up here and beg you to talk to me. And Jacob is one of those people. I'm not finna sit up here and beg you to like me. Haley thinks she's better than Jacob. Period. Let me get off of them because I feel like I've been on it for too long, because I'm gonna have to do this other live afterwards. Let me move on. Sorry. She wasn't happy after they slept together. You're right. That's another thing that could possibly be worked on, though. Let's move on to Eric and Virginia. Eric is more into Virginia than she is into him. Eric proposing was manipulating. I totally agree with that. What was she supposed to say with you proposing? Like, I really didn't like that. I low key don't think that should be allowed. Like, I don't think they should be allowed to do that, because that is like, well, dang, if you propose to me, that's like proposing to somebody in public, and when the woman says no, she's always looked at as the bad guy. But y'all don't know the backstory. Y'all don't know the backstory. She might have a good reason for saying no. Hear me out. I wanted everybody to say no, but these two are actually my faves if I had to choose. Caitlin, how are these two your faves? They are one of the most toxic. Virginia didn't look happy. Her eyes were so sad, y'all. Go look when they were, after they both said yes, and they were like pouring the champagne and they were, congratulating them and whatnot. Her eyes, like she would smile and her eyes would look different. But when she was just standing there, her eyes looked so sad. She did not look happy to me. And maybe I'm reading too much into it, but she didn't look happy, y'all. Your faves are problematic. Yes, they're problematic. I'm sorry. I will never forget about when she was having a panic attack and he completely was egging it on, like he was making it worse and not trying to comfort her. You don't need to be with someone that deals with those type of what's the word? Not mental illness. When people deal with anxiety, you have to, you can't deal with them like that. And I don't feel like he's sensitive to that at all. He wants it his way or the highway. Every time she does or says something, yeah, triggers, right? He will trigger her and then continue to trigger her, continue to hit her in that same spot. And I also feel like Virginia is I feel like Virginia just needs not to be with anybody and to work on herself, period. Like, the drinking thing might not be bad now. We really don't know. We don't know if the drinking, they could have just been showing her drinking every scene just to create a narrative. You know what I'm saying? So she could not actually have a problem. It could be the beginning of a problem. You know what I'm saying? She could be a functioning alcoholic. There are such thing as people who can be drunk and still function. There are people that are complete alcoholics but can, go to work, do their work, get home, be drunk all night, and start all over and do it the next day. So I don't know which one she is, but I definitely think she's using drinking as a coping mechanism. She seems to have some seriously deep-rooted issues when it comes to her family. Every time she talks about her family, she completely gets in her feelings and almost starts crying every single time. So something is wrong there. Okay? She's facing serious abandonment issues. And I don't think getting married is going to fix it. She's using drinking as a coping mechanism. Their age is a problem. She is being 26-year-old woman. Think back when you're 26. She's young. She is young. He is mature and been married before. Big age difference. Oh, I could see that too. I do think she's very immature. I do think that. He kept saying he doesn't. Dang. Oh, I lost that comment. I take it back, y'all are right. I do feel like they were the only couple that truly fell and love, though, even though it's horribly toxic. Yeah, you can fall in love. I mean, plenty of people be crazy in love and be knocking each other out behind the scenes. Like you could be crazy in love and toxic. Yeah, I do think they love each other, but I honestly, is it love or is it lust? Do they have chemistry in the bedroom, but everywhere else is a struggle? Is that what's holding them together? Because that shouldn't be the only thing, you know? Nope, 26 doesn't mean we're drunk, though. Immature, yes, of course, but alcohol is definitely an issue. I mean, he's brought it up several times as an issue. I think at some point he just joined in with her. Infatuation and insecurity. I think he's definitely insecure. I think he's one of the most, him and Vincent are the most insecure men on this show. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. He was so nervous on decision day. Oh, he was rubbing his, calm down. Calm down. I mean, and I don't mean to bring this up, but he did get a nose job. And you just don't hear many men getting nose jobs. Men just, they don't really do that too often. So that just shows me that he was a little insecure about his looks as well. I just get insecurity from him. I really do. Chris, you're right. Chris, I don't even think about Chris, because Chris is top 10 for everything wrong with this show. Yeah, girl, he got a nose job. It's a good one, because I would have never been able to tell he got one. And honestly, he looked like a totally different person with one, because I saw that picture. I'm like, are y'all sure this is Eric? I see a bullied child in that picture. I should not laugh. I should not laugh at that. Right. She's gonna have to get used to all these ultimatums. All right, y'all. Let's move on. I don't wanna spend too much time. We already know. Y'all, this is the biggest disappointment for me. I had so many high hopes. So many high hopes. What was the cheesecake about? Now, somebody tried to tell me, well, the reason why he did the cheesecake is because, you remember when he cut her hair, he was like, I have a good surprise for you. And she was like cheesecake good. And he turned out to cut her hair, so he brought the cheesecake to make up for that. I'm not accepting that. I'm sorry, but they're both not ready to love. You know what? I kind of feel that the fact that she's willing to put up with all of that with Vincent, it makes me think that she's lacking somewhere as well. I'm most scared for Brianna out of anybody. His own family said Vincent's temper is off the wall. He tried his best to hide it on TV and failed. Imagine how he is when no one is watching. You know what? When your own family member is on TV telling her that he has anger issues, and this is like when you first meet them, they're supposed to be like, they ain't supposed to be telling all this. I feel like that's something he should have been weeded out. I'm sorry. If he have that kind of anger issues, he should have been weeded out. I'm sorry. and add insecurity on top of that. She don't care as long as she has a tan man. I mean, people did bring up colorism when it came to Brianna. She said she wanted a light-skinned man, and maybe it's the same thing with Clara and Ryan. Maybe as long as she got a light-skinned man, she's willing to put up with it. Because let me tell you right now, I would never put up with a Vincent. Ever. Highly sensitive. Mm-mm. Everything always comes back to her. It's always her fault. Oh, when she tries to like say what she doesn't like about him, he's tit for tat. He's gonna come up with something he don't like about her. Passive aggressive to the max. Passive aggressive to the max. Brianna is way too aggressive for him. She wears the pants. The crazy thing is, Brianna really ain't that aggressive. Like, really, really, really think about it. Is Brianna aggressive? Give me some instances where Brianna was aggressive. I could say she's a little bossy only because she wanted him to wake up at a certain time. But that's the only instance we can think of that too. Like, I really like the things that he says about her, we really haven't seen too much of that. And I really feel like they would have shown it if there were things to show. She's more sarcastic. Yeah, I think she's a little sarcastic, okay? She's direct. Not I feel like she can have a little bossiness, but yes, I do think she's just direct. She's just a very she's direct with her communication. I respect that about her. She's someone else that I respect for that. Like she even though she did tiptoe around him a lot, she really put out there what her issue was with him. Whereas he'll sit up there, I'm mad. I don't know how to do the dance. She says I'm not organized. She made me want to get on the horse. She had to tiptoe or else he'll pack his backpack. Why do you sound like Caillou? That's exactly how Caillou act. You know what? Vincent is Caillou. That's Caillou all grown up because Caillou act like that. Everything got to be about Caillou and what Caillou want. He was. Why would they make a cartoon like that where a child is just terrible and they rarely correct him? Let people love people outside of their race. There is nothing wrong with loving someone outside of your race. Okay? What is wrong is fetishizing people outside of your race. Okay? There's a difference. Why do you have that preference? Dig a little deeper. Why is it that you have that preference? He's bald too. Bald and mad. It was a French cartoon, so maybe the French be acting different. Maybe so, child, but I feel like that was a terrible cartoon for kids. Like, I don't want you acting like I don't want my child watching Caillou. You don't need to get on TV and do that because I don't want my child acting like Caillou. It's the putting up with it because they're my preference. Problematic. Exactly. Exactly. Caitlin, I feel the same way. I want to root for them, but I can't with a good conscience, knowing what I know, I cannot root for them. Because uh-uh. Uh-uh. Some ain't right. I remember Bree said she was insecure about being dark. Yeah, I remember that. So, maybe she wants to be with somebody light so she can have some light kids. But I hope she know genetics don't always work like that. Genetics don't always work like that. You never know what you gonna get. You never know what you gonna get. I came out light skinned. My dad is darker than Brianna. My mom is brown. So it's the genetics, you never know which one is going to hit. Internalized colorism. Yeah, because she says she got past that, but how she might be still dealing with that. You know what I'm saying? Feeling less than because she's darker. You know what I'm saying? Okay, my baby's clear. Okay. Y'all see my cousin in here, Caitlin? Okay, her baby lighter than me, and he has like what, gray eyes, sandy brown hair. Like, where did that come from? Child, they can reach all the way back. I mean, they have to reach all the way back. I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say what I said. I was gonna say. Let me move on because I'm gonna have to end this shortly. I don't even low key don't even want to talk about them, but let's get into it. The stunts and shows. Tyler Perry dramatics. Okay, Tyler Perry could do a whole movie based around these two. I would actually watch it. If they did a whole show mimicking Married at First Sight, I will watch it. Get y'all blood pressure meds. Oh Lord. They make my teeth itch. I believe him and Paige playing that stunt. Yeah, because she was too into the dramatics. Either she seems to be perfectly okay with the toxicity. Some people thrive in toxicity and the just being dysfunctional because that's how they grew up. They grew up with all that dysfunctional behavior. So when they find someone with dysfunctional behavior, they thrive in it. They just bask in it. And that's what Paige gives me. She's used to being in a dysfunctional situation. So dealing with Chris, she used to it. But she's not thriving. She's not, but she feels like she is. I mean, the fact that anytime Chris says like anything, like, I mean, any sort of compliment towards her, I mean, she just melts like a moth to a flame. I love how Paige's hair was consistently terrible, except for the locks. I feel like her wig was better. I feel like her wig was better for Decision Day. Like, I feel like it was better than it has been. Some people think it's not love if you don't have to fight for it. Yep. Someone send a copy to Tyler Perry. I know he's called her ugly so many times, and then you sit up here, and as soon as he says, "Oh, I am attracted to you," you believe it? You believe it? Pinky, you could see the lace. I just felt like it was better. The other one, the other ones were worse than that one. So y'all gotta admit it was better, right? She needs to leave God out of it. Thank you. God had nothing to do with this. Nothing. If anything, God probably gave you signs not to do this, and you ignored them because and you already had it set in your mind, oh, this is how I'm gonna find my husband. A lot of times we press through and do things because we want to do them, not because God wants us to do them. And you got to eat that. I don't know why Paige still want to involve God unless you're going to say, I miss God. Now, if you said I missed God, I will accept that. But saying that God didn't have nothing to do with this girl, I was astonished that she was still falling for the games at, at the end. Right. That's why I feel like that speech she made where she said she didn't want to be married to Chris, I feel like she was just saying it to save face. But I don't believe any of it. I feel like they met up that night. Okay? You can't tell me any different. Allegedly. He just likes the body. This dude is terrible. The whole ex-fiance was a dark cloud someone should have caught. Exactly. He should not have been chose simply because, let me get my grammar correct. He should not have been chosen simply because he was engaged months before. Hello? If he told Paige that on the first day, how did y'all not catch that? People should not be chosen within months of being engaged, within months of being in long-term relationships. And then get together with the group and admit that she was still considering staying. Stop telling people that mess. They were all looking at her crazy. I know they really wanted to just like, Paige, like shake her. What? I was proud of Dr. Viviana. She was ready to take Chris to trash Chris. That's the least Dr. Viviana could have done. I mean, I'm glad she did it. I was, good in the moment, but that's the least y'all could do is check Chris. That's the least y'all could do. I don't think they had full say over who made it and who didn't. But y'all are the face of this. So I think they should have checked Chris. I kind of wish, looking back, I kind of wish Pastor Cal would have checked Chris a little bit more too. Because he was being manipulative, crying and running out and wasting people's time. I mean, they were there for 6 hours. Somebody needed to put their foot down. Pastor Cal should have went into because they didn't do enough with confronting him all season long. Exactly. I understand, like, to a certain degree, they have to be like impartial and not biased. But Chris ruined this season, and I feel like y'all needed to make a stance to be clear that this behavior is not acceptable. Y'all needed to stand firm in it too, because it made y'all look bad. It made y'all look incompetent as experts. They didn't do enough to support Paige. I agree. I totally agree. I mean, I know there's only so much you can do because Paige is a grown woman. You can't make her do nothing. But to stand up and put your foot down and say, no, this is not the way this is going to go down. Why did they even let them come to the decision day? You already knew Chris was going to clown. It must be in their contract. I believe it's in their contract that decision day, if they make it to decision day or come to that day, they get extra money. So I think decision day is like, the show is kind of based around decision day. So I think they have to come, or it's encouraged for them to come, even if they don't make it all the way. But I don't see the point unless you just want the dramatics. When Dr. Viviano was getting upset, though, you can hear Pastor Cal say they're both making a decision. I think he felt like Paige wanted to be a fool, so he let her. That's true, too. At the end, Pastor Cal did say we can't want more for her than she wants for herself. Like, we can't want more for them than they want. So I could see that side of things as well. But we've seen Pastor Cal check people in the past. Like, I remember Pastor Cal checking Luke, checking Matt. I just remember parts where he did check people, but also Chris is also someone that's like a loose cannon. I mean, you never know what Chris is capable of, so maybe he just didn't want to deal with it. The producers were the experts. I don't know who the doctors were. Paige went straight to the producer. True. Honestly, in the earlier seasons, the experts were much more involved than they are these days. I don't know what's going on these days. They're just not as involved. I mean, we do see them make cameos, but I feel like they should be way more involved. Way more involved than they are. I mean, the season before that, they weren't as involved with them. They were even encouraging Jacob to give Haley's toxic mess another try. Show did. I wouldn't have let them carry on for no 6 hours though, because baby, who has the time for that? Exactly. That's how you know they were encouraging that mess. They was encouraging that. Because at some point, somebody should have been like, okay, all right now. Because we got other people to get to today. They literally had to come back the next day. You saw it go from day to night. And they had to come back the next day. This whole season gave me very much Young and the Restless vibes. Y'all remember the basketball player on season 9? He was almost as bad as Chris. He was pretty bad, but nobody is as bad as Chris. I mean, he was pretty bad, but Chris, I mean, he takes the cake. He really does. Because not only was he terrible on this show, like he's still terrible, like on his Instagram, like going off on people to this day. Like he is awful. He really is. Chris is such a coward because he has his comments limited on Instagram. He can't take the heat. I mean, Karen doesn't even have her comments shut off. And Karen got some really, like, a lot of people's going off on Karen. And she even lets people say what they want to say. So the fact that he can't take it, he is weak sauce. Chris made sure he got Paige to follow him in the car to manipulate her, telling her to take off her mic. He wanted to make that drama. Matt and Katie were worse than Chris. I beg to differ. I mean, it's not like they weren't bad. They were, but And he is steady posting to his story. Just last night, he was saying he wanted to talk to the bloggers that's been talking about him. Chris, go somewhere and sit down because you too scared. I don't believe it. I don't believe he would. I really don't. I think he would confront them on his Instagram story, but I doubt he would actually like get on a live with someone. And if he did, he would probably just get on there, curse everybody out, and leave. He wouldn't actually sit there and have a real conversation like a man. He wouldn't have a civil conversation. I do think he enjoys being a villain because he enjoys he enjoys the attention that comes with it. But he really can't handle that negativity that he gives out. He can't take what he dishes out at all. At all. Why do you think he got up he got up and ran out crying? And then when he came back and Dr. Viviana put her foot down, he was about to curse her out. Like, he cannot take it. Run away from accountability like a roach in the light. In the reunion preview, he tries to fight the host like he's out of pocket. I know. He's a child. He act like a little kid. Paige's parents were nowhere to be found. Like, what? I think her mom is in the picture. I don't know was her dad in the picture? I remember her, her sitting down with her mom and her brother, but I don't remember her dad. Does anybody remember that? Maybe she has daddy issues. No, he can't fight. You saw who he picked a fight with. Eric. Now, out of the whole group, he's the one that I would not be worried about. No, Eric. He was at the wedding. Okay, I just don't remember seeing her dad. He must not have said nothing then, because I just don't remember her dad at the wedding. Paige has two dads. Okay, I didn't know that. Paige that walked down the aisle with two men, her dad and her stepdad. Well, where they at? Where they at, honey? Because I'm gonna need for somebody to come in and check him. Listen, Paige's personal issues existed before Chris. However, Chris definitely capitalized off of her weakness. I agree. But during the season, we saw the other parents more. It's crazy. We didn't see Paige's parents. We didn't see Ryan's parents. I'm trying to think. Because we did see Brianna's. We saw Vincent's briefly. I'm trying to see. We saw Eric's. We saw Virginia's kind of. Jacob's, we only saw at the wedding. Haley's, we only saw at the wedding. Clara's, we got to see hers. Is that everybody? The dads ain't gonna step in unless Paige gives them the green light. That's true. I feel like I don't know. I just feel like they showed parents more in the past as well. They honestly use the parents as, people to give advice and guidance. And honestly, we really didn't see too much of their friends either. And it could have been because of the panty. But we just really didn't see much interaction outside of the core group. And usually that's where they got a lot of their, guidance and advice. And, we just got to see a little bit more of their personal life through their friends and family. And we just didn't see much of that. Mercedes is mad that the miscarriage was exposed on TV. Mercedes is the fiance, right? Why did you come on TV then if you're mad about it? Shut up, Alexis. Paige's friends didn't seem to have her back at the reception. Like, they talked a good game. Maybe they just didn't want to ruin the wedding because it was really early. It was really early, so I don't know. It's 165 people in here. Make sure you leave a like. I'm gonna stay on here for a few more minutes and then I'm gonna switch over to Ready to Love. Oop, if there was a fake pregnancy, they are worse than scum. Yeah, if they fake that, that's trash. He's even more trash than I thought. Chris's receipts on pregnancy and miscarriage were convincing. It's on his IG. I did see that, but I didn't really like look at it. So possibly. I'm really not gonna question it too much because we might not ever know the truth. And if it is true, I don't want to be insensitive. But it's a possibility that it wasn't. Just by how outrageous he was. We may never know. I don't know, but I'm just gonna go with it. It is for now. All right, you guys, I'm gonna jump off of here and do Ready to Love because it's getting late. So if you watch Ready to Love, even if you don't watch Ready to Love, maybe you can come and still have a good time. I'm gonna start the Ready to Love right after this one. So thank you to everyone who showed up. Make sure you like the stream before you leave. And yeah, I'll see you next week.